Hello, my name's Leslie Whitty. I am the Vice President for Outreach and Communication for the South Central Workforce Development Board. And I am so excited because joining me, I have Dr. Robert Boone, who is the President and CEO of our board. And our special guest is Michaela Alpers. She is the Director of the the President of the Education Division for Career Team. So, Robert, will you give a little background on Michaela?
Absolutely. Well, as president of the Education Division for Career Team, Michaela oversees national operations with Career Edge, which is a virtual learning management platform in 18 modules that really prepares individuals for the world of work, not only to get a job, but to keep a job and advance in employment. So it really focuses well on our organization's two primary customers, which are job seekers and employers. And in addition, Career Edge has recently launched a new virtual hiring event platform that Michaela will be going through a little bit later on in the presentation, which really is going to help our employers engage with skilled employees. So I'll turn it over to Michaela.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Boone and Leslie. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share a little bit about Career Edge and the various tools that we have developed to support our workforce partners and the communities and employers that they serve. As Dr. Boone mentioned, I'm Michaela Alpers. I have the privilege of running our education division at Career Team. And really what that means is I have partnered with our direct service operations, which means that we actually run workforce programs throughout the country. And we have been extracting all of our best practices from working directly with career seekers, helping them with barrier removal, building resumes, interviewing skills, and of course, developing employer relationships in the communities that we serve. So after doing that for about 2 decades, we started to take all of those lessons learned and build it into a scalable platform that we call Career Edge. And back in March, we started to implement the Kentucky Career Edge platform throughout the entire state. I can't say that we anticipated that a pandemic was coming, but I do like to say that we were accidentally prepared because we do have a lot of on-demand tools that allowed all of the Kentucky workforce operators to maintain their service levels without requiring candidates to come through their doors. So I just want to commend Dr. Boone on his proactive thinking and seeing the opportunities to leverage a best-in-class platform to ensure consistency of service delivery, but also to take into consideration where career seekers are and how they want to engage with their workforce operators. You know, there's been a significant shift in how people expect to engage with all kinds of things, whether it's their bank or their healthcare providers, and workforce development shouldn't be any different than that. So I'm really excited that we've looked at use cases and ways that we can scale our case management teams, our business services teams, while ensuring concierge level service to the career seekers that so desperately, in some cases, need our help. So at this point, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a little bit of the candidate experience that I'm talking about. Before I do that, Dr. Boone or Leslie, are there any questions about Career Team or our background that I can answer for you?
Well, I know one of the reasons why we were really drawn to Career Team early on, and we've been working together now for about 2.5 years, is the fact that Career Team has the lens of a provider. So they're working with career seekers, they're working with employers and have been for 20 plus years nationwide. So this software, as you mentioned, Michaela, was developed from those experiences. And I think that's something that our employers really relate to, and certainly that our job seekers really relate to.
Absolutely. I'd like to say that we are not a big publisher that suddenly decided to build a life skills and career readiness program, nor are we a big software company that decided to build a workforce development platform. This is actually what we do. And we have been extracting best practices and building it into scalable tools that are now utilized throughout the country, whether it's in the K-12 systems, community colleges, technical institutions, workforce programs, and so forth. So at its core, I like to say that the Kentucky Career Edge is really a candidate preparation tool that is designed to meet them where they're at. So, people are coming through our doors with various degrees of skills, with emotional barriers, and so on. Some of them maybe have been in an industry that's shifting altogether, and it's time to do career exploration. So we have assessments built into our system that allow career seekers to get to know what types of industries are best for them just based on who they are, how they show up in the world, and their interests. So, just a very simple assessment here, you can get an idea that I am now answering these various questions, and we'll go through this pretty quickly. And based on how I'm answering these questions, and by the way, I'm not looking at any of these pictures, so we'll see what kind of assessment results I get. But this is going to give me a sense of the types of industries that I should consider, and maybe I should say that. Make sure you hit submit. Okay, so now you can see that after I took this assessment that I am getting a sense of the types of industries that I might consider. We're going to see here that agriculture, food, and natural resources is a good fit for my background or for my skills. And this is going to give me a sense of the types of businesses and industries that I should consider. They're also going to talk to me about educational requirements, what I might be able to get into with a high school diploma versus moving on into higher levels and degrees. So just a sense of if somebody's coming through your doors, maybe they're a lane changer, or maybe they haven't done any career exploration yet, this is a great place to start. We're also going to talk to our career seekers about their personality types. This is based off of the Myers-Briggs. I am an ENFJ, and that definitely is consistent with the career path that I've chosen. So it's important not only to be in the right industry, but also understand your personality type and the company culture that might be the best fit for you. From there, when we started the career team as a company, Sue Casilius, who's one of our co-founders, Chris and Sue Casilius founded the company back in '96. And she was a director of career services at a college previously. We felt that in order for students or job seekers to really be successful at not only securing but sustaining employment, it's just as important that they have a sense of what their value is to employers, that they've got their goals in place, that they understand how attitude and who they are in the world is going to shape their outcomes. So you'll notice that in the Career Edge platform, we don't jump right into resume creation or interviewing skills. We have a whole series of self-reflection modules that are really designed to improve somebody's idea of who they are and their self-confidence. From there, we have a whole series of more student success related modules that are going to tie into those essential skills that employers are looking for in ideal candidates. So for example, we constantly hear from our employer partners that the ability to work in teams or manage time and be reliable are critical to their operations and success. So the better that we can address these skills throughout the workforce development programs, the more likely that these skills are going to mature over time and a qualified candidate will walk through your doors. We also have information in here on financial literacy, understanding what budgets are, credit scores, APRs, all that good stuff. And we really want this to be a life skills program that's going to allow our career seekers to be successful while they're matriculating through their workforce development programs and perhaps their skilled credentialing programs, and then build up into more of the networking, communication, job search strategies, interviewing, and so forth. So what sits behind all of these modules are various learning assets that we have designed to be delivered on demand so that career seekers can work through this at any time, whether it's from their phone, from an access point that's been established by the workforce development programs at the community college campus, or on their home computers. We have various learning assets, and we're very sensitive to today's learner. So you're going to find that our videos are short, and that we also take into consideration that we're serving an incredibly diverse population. So they're going to see lots of faces and backgrounds in our content. We have video material, workbook material, and interactive exercises. We also have all of this material available to be facilitated in a synchronous format or live format, both on a Zoom or Microsoft Teams platform, as well as actual training center or classroom-based instruction. So there are lots of different colleges and high schools and Job Corps programs that actually facilitate this material live face-to-face. And then, of course, we're also able to reach those career seekers that are gaining this information from their commute on the bus, from their phones, or maybe from their homes, the libraries, and so forth. So that'll give you a sense of, from a content perspective, an assessments perspective, where we're coming from. But one of the most powerful things that we have built into Career Edge is our toolkit. So this is where career seekers can actually work through, they can go through interview simulations, they can practice on demand, they can also build their resumes, they can build cover letters. So our intent with Career Edge is that if somebody is learning about a topic, they should leave with something tangible in their hands that they can use to better their lives and or conduct their job search. So that is one of our pillars in all of our platform development, is that there needs to be something actionable, whether it's through the responsible borrowing and budgeting module, where they leave with an actual budget. If it's a time management module, they should leave with a schedule. If they're learning about interviewing, they ought to practice an interview in real time. So Leslie, I'm actually going to turn my camera off and see if I can show the interview simulator. So just let me turn that off. All right, am I articulating this the way you guys wanted? I'm being super brief because we don't have that much time.
Absolutely.
This is really good. Thanks.
Sure. Okay. So as an example, one of the things that we hear from our case management teams and our business services teams all the time is that mock interviewing is critical to a career seeker's success when they head out to meet with potential employers. However, it's very, very time consuming, and not everybody wants to come across town just to come for a workshop. So what we've done here is we've created a simulation where career seekers can come in, they can play on-demand videos about the fact that they're going to be starting an interview. When they come into the system, you'll notice here that my camera just popped up, and now my interviewer is asking me questions. So I can listen to these questions, and I can immediately record my answer. Hi, I'm Michaela. I think I'd be the best candidate for this position for these reasons. I look forward to working with you. Answer. Hi, all right, I can never pause myself at just the right moment, but if I get stuck here, I can just pop up my Get Coaching screen. There's a quick video that's going to give me a sense of how I can successfully answer this question, and then on I go. So just by introducing this tool, we have allowed for career centers to be available for mock interviewing 24/7 without having to be open 24/7. So this is a great example of how Dr. Boone has really leveraged technology to create a high-touch and high-tech career engagement model that is meeting the needs of the career center as well as the career seekers they serve. Here's a list of all the different questions that are available in the system. And then we also have the ability on our virtual hiring fair for employers to record their own questions that they can ask career seekers. And then that way you can really screen for not just some of the generic skills that you're looking for, but for some of the skills that are specific to your markets. So that's a sense of how our mock interview simulator works. We also have, as an example, our resume builder where career seekers can come in. They have a coach here who's guiding them through this process. They can name their resumes. They can actually select an industry. So maybe they have been an automotive technician in the past. When they click on chronological versus functional, they've got these big bold boxes. And we did this on purpose. We really wanted to make sure that this was not an intimidating tool, but something that they could come in, they would see big bold boxes with lots of instruction on what to include here. And then based on the industry that I selected, I even have some previous bullet points that I can select and drop into my resume. When I'm done with this, you'll see that we've got lots of different styles for career seekers to choose from. And all of these produce Word documents that they can take out of the system and on into their career search. So that'll give you a quick sense of the various tools that are available in the Career Edge platform, along with our modules and assessments. Now, of course, when COVID-19 hit, we had to get very, very creative about how we were engaging with our employer partners on still being able to conduct career fairs, but in a safe way. And I think that this is a trend that we're going to see sticking around, because by leveraging a on-demand platform for virtual hiring, we can work with career seekers 24/7 and in a much more efficient way. So this is just a quick sense. If I'm a career seeker logging into the Kentucky Career Edge platform, we now have a showcase of companies that they can preview. They can take a look at a job board, and they can also take a look at the questions that are coming to them from employers so that they can record answers, and you can do your screening process in a on-demand space. So this is a sense of what the career seeker is going to see. And then on the employer side, when an applicant has applied to your company, you can view those applicants here. You can also record your interview questions and post positions as well. So if I have any saved applicants, I can go into their profiles. Oh, let's see, this one is a customer service representative. I can also take a look at their answers that they've recorded in that mock interview simulator that I showed you on the candidate side, and to see who I want to bring in for a live interview. So this is an awesome place where you can enter your company information. You can record questions that you would like to have available to career seekers to answer on demand, and then you can also post positions, save applicants, contact applicants, and view the answers that they have posted to their profiles in the mock interview simulator. So we're really excited to have to take this framework of the Kentucky Career Edge and layer on top of it another resource that's going to, I guess, repurpose an existing tool for the actual hiring process. So I think that's the extent of what I wanted to show in just a few minutes of what we're doing with the Kentucky Career Edge platform from a candidate preparation perspective, from a operations on the Career Center side and creating efficiencies with case management and business services. And now, of course, with the employer communities, opening up all that great work that the career seekers are doing to help you with your hiring process as well. So Dr. Boone and Leslie, I'll turn it over to you for any questions.
Well, I just have a quick takeaway really with the virtual hiring event platform. In our region, like a lot of regions, employers need to scale up for their hiring. Mm-hmm. There's certainly a place to hire 1, 2, 3 people, but in some cases we need 50, 60, 100 people hired. In those cases in particular, those sort of larger scale cases, a virtual hiring event platform is perfect, because mm-hmm. it really enables you as the employer to reach a wide pool of candidates and interview them without regard for scheduling the interview, because you can go back and watch recordings. You can have multiple people on your hiring team watch videos and rate candidates and so on. So it's a really terrific way to use technology in order to scale up. In addition, Career Edge for the career seeker in career preparation is a great way for them to scale up, because they can go ahead and complete 80, 85, maybe even 90% of what they need to do before even reaching a career coach, which enables our career coaches and our career centers to help more people, and really kind of empowers our career seekers to go ahead and start the process, go ahead and start working on their resume, go ahead and do mock interviewing and those types of activities to better prepare them for the world of work.
Absolutely. If you look at just the resume builder as well as the mock interview simulator, those two pieces alone, a case manager would typically say are an hour-long appointment for face-to-face. So when you think about caseloads and the fact that we're in this very interesting time with the pandemic and transitioning work, we've got to get really smart about how we're able to handle the influx of career seekers that are coming to us, and the retooling and redeploying of the workforce into these high in-demand sectors that still need to hire at scale. So, when we can take an hour-long appointment and turn it into maybe 13 minutes of a review of a resume, you can do the math very quickly and figure out how many more people we can serve. So that has been a big focus for us at Career Team, is how can we create more operational efficiency so that we can leverage our people for what they're really good at. And I like to say that historically, case management staff and business services have been the foundation layers, the framers, the roofers, all of that. Now they get to be the craftsman detail work because we're using technology to lay the foundation for a career seeker's success.
So Michaela, I have a question for you. If I am watching this and I think, wow, this Kentucky Career Edge platform is fantastic. It provides job seekers a wealth of resources. So I know as an employer, I am getting candidates that have done a lot of preparation. But my concern is how much does this cost? Because a lot of job seekers may not be able to utilize this platform based on the amount involved.
Sure. Leslie, thank you so much for the question. I'm really happy and grateful to Dr. Boone when I say that this is actually a platform that's been adopted by the state. So Kentuckians, whether they're coming to us through the corrections system, through KCTCS, through one of your employer partners, a community action agency, this is a system that is available to any and all career seekers that are looking to improve their skills, do career exploration, build resumes, and so forth. So we've had several thousand several thousand of your Kentucky residents that have registered for the platform over the last several months, and that number grows every single day.
Very good, very good. Well, that is good to hear. So as long as someone lives in the state of Kentucky, they can utilize this platform.
Absolutely.
That's right. All 120 counties, and as Michaela mentioned, we can work with high schools, community and technical colleges, other workforce partners. We have unlimited licenses for job seekers in Kentucky to get the career preparation that they need in order to find a job, advance in employment, change lanes, maybe find a new job. All those types of things completely free to our job seekers in Kentucky.
Wonderful. So in summary, Michaela, I know that you've gone through a ton of information. It's been extremely helpful and exciting. Our summit focuses on the future of workforce and vision. And how do you think Career Team and Kentucky Career Edge, how have you all responded to the pandemic and being able to pivot in such a trying time?
Sure. So I think anytime you hit a moment of crisis, it's an opportunity for leadership to really step up to the plate. As soon as we realized that we were going to be shutting down our career centers and our partners throughout the country were going to be doing the same thing, our instructional design team was behind the scenes frantically building out virtual workshop delivery models. We trained about 3,000 case management and career advisors throughout the country on how to leverage phones, Google Voice, how to set up home office setups so that we could maintain our service levels. We also, it's one thing to offer a webinar for your career seekers. It's another thing to do it well. So we wanted to make sure that all of the case management staff and training departments that are engaging with career seekers in a virtual format learn some of those best practices that we have put together with our partners in education that have been doing virtual learning for so long. So there was a lot that we did on the preparation side and then the training and development side for all of our partner institutions, as well as our own staff. So, daily webinars, making sure that we were maintaining the culture of our own organization, because we know that with all the UI and calls that were coming in, it became extremely emotionally taxing for our own staff. So we had to make sure we were investing in their culture building and that they knew that as a leadership team, we're really there for them. We've also clearly, based on the tools you're seeing here today, we were prepared with a platform. But what we hadn't necessarily considered is that it was going to go from a nice to have to a necessity. So making sure that all of our staff understood how to go to what I call a flipped classroom model, where instead of sitting on the phone for an hour and going through a resume, making sure that they knew they had tools available where they could send the career seeker first, making sure that that data is then passed back to the case management staff in real time so that they can do the correct outreach attempts and follow-up. So it's one thing, like I said, to have a technology platform. It's another thing to be capturing data points that are actionable data points. And then a third thing to make sure your staff is sufficiently trained on how to take what used to be a face-to-face interaction, move that to an online interaction, and the nuances of reading the room, reading the video, and all that other stuff. So we did a lot of things behind the scenes to prepare, to make sure we had facilitation resources, that we had training documentation, so that we could do this at scale, and then also making sure we're nurturing our staff and their emotions, because it's a lot to be with the chaos that's been going on, some of the challenges that career seekers are coming to us with. So I think it's a combination of all of those things. Is that a good answer?
That is a wonderful answer. Robert, do you have any further questions or comments?
I just want to say it's been a real pleasure to work with Career Team and Career Edge on implementing Kentucky Career Edge in the state. And I look forward to the continued partnership. And like Michaela said, every single day we gain new users. We're up to a few thousand new users since we launched this at the very beginning of the pandemic in Kentucky. So, and it's helped a lot of people. We've had wonderful success stories in our work on the ground with people who have utilized Career Edge and who have found that it's the thing that really helped them get a job in these really challenging times when our career centers were closed to in-person traffic.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I hope that we can learn from this and say, what are the best practices that we developed during this time that we can move forward with in the future? You know, and it's even little things down to, I have a lot of multi-system partnerships that we work with where, because somebody has the job title in that office, they're the one that's doing job development and business services. Well, when you're not bound by geography, as a leadership team, is there an opportunity to say, who's the best person on my staff to be doing X, Y, and Z? And can we leverage platforms like Microsoft Teams and Zoom to have the most impactful conversations with our community partners, our employers, our career seekers, and redeploy. So I hope that we don't lose sight of that as we transition maybe back to full-blown face-to-face, or I don't think it's going to look the same for quite some time. I'm actually in California right now, and it is definitely still a hotbed for COVID cases. So we'll see. But I do think that there are some wonderful efficiencies that we're creating with technology, that as we forced our staff to make this migration, I think as a leadership team, we have underestimated how capable people can be to adapting to new things when the stakes are high. And I've had instructors who have been used to working in an auto body shop for 30 years who have somehow figured out how to lead classroom-based instruction on technology platforms. So I hope we don't go backwards when it comes to the efficiencies and the ability to reach more people, to deploy our best staff for specific tasks when we are able to be fully operational in person again. Because I think that this has forced us all to really look at our operation from top to bottom and figure out ways that we can improve our employers' experience, our job seekers' experience, our case management staff, and so forth.
Yeah, I completely agree, Michaela. And just like this conference, for example, this Workforce Summit, we have speakers like you who are in California. We have a speaker who's in Canada. We have a speaker who's in Australia. These are speakers we would not be able to have in past years because it's always been an in-person conference where we're always kind of bound by geography and budget. But now we have great speakers from all over the country and even internationally. So I don't want to go back either, because there's so much to learn and so much to grow in this moment of crisis, where we have really built solutions that are making the world a smaller place in a very good way, and really enabling us to work beyond geography.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I was just going to add is I think the virtual and the technological aspects of Kentucky Career Edge are fantastic. I mean, they're amazing. What I love even more is the fact that it is also very personal. There are videos. They are still connecting with people. They are able to record themselves and watch themselves in a simulated interview, which that can be an eye opener. So it's still, there's still a humanity to it. And that's one of the things that I like the most. You feel like you're still interacting with people. And I think that's important now more than ever.
Yeah. I agree, Leslie. And one of our content development strategies, and this is very intentional, is that our content is written in the first person. So it seems so nuanced, but when you think about that, we're talking to a human being about their life and who they want to show up as and what their goals are and where they want their career to go. And there's so much emotion that's tied to that. So I agree, from how we write our scripts to the way that the content is developed to how we assume no prerequisite knowledge in our material, but we always deliver the information without judgment. I'm personally a certified trainer in the AHA Process Bridges Out of Poverty program. We always bring those tenets into our content development because we want this material to be accessible from the content perspective as well as the technology as a whole. But I do want to just close with, if you're a workforce program and we're resisting these changes, hopefully COVID has pushed you to realize that the train has left the station, because this is not a nice to have. Our career seekers, our job seekers, this is their expectation. If they are used to being able to scheduling doctor's appointments and interacting with their kids' teachers at schools from the convenience of their smartphones, we have got to step up our game on the workforce development side and not be bound by bureaucracy and paperwork and applications and go to this desk and go to the next, because we lose people who really need our help because we're creating a barrier just by them having to get on a bus and get across town. We want individuals to have access to the ability to go to work. Well, our career centers are typically open from 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. So we're automatically hindering their ability to be out in the workforce and going to interviews just by the nature of the time constraints and the transportation barriers to get through our doors. So I would like to say that if by leveraging a technology platform, we may be getting to career seekers that otherwise wouldn't have even come in for our services. And I think that is what Dr. Boone saw 3 years ago when we started our relationship, and what we've been able to bring to life in the South Central region of Kentucky and now across the state.
That's absolutely right, Michaela. Yeah, very well said.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much. This has been extremely informative. It's also, I feel inspired too. So very, very good information. And I encourage all employers who might be watching to definitely look into Kentucky Career Edge as a resource. And it's for job seekers, but see what's out there so you can encourage job seekers to utilize it, or current employees as well. Well, thank you again, Michaela. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Boone. I will sign off with that, but thank you. This has been extremely, extremely beneficial.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.